Welcome back, everybody, to the Summit 4 coverage of the North American qualifiers for this game. Sorry about that last one. Ended up being a little busy time around. We being in a bit of an awkward situation where a penalty was accrued onto paiN Gaming that should have been on Unknown from the last game because they took a little bit longer to get on into the next set of picks and get on into the actual lobby. So because of that, we had to remake and get everything all reset back up. But this is the point that we were at in the draft last time around. It is going to be a Darkseer band out, as well as the Gyrocopter, Night Stalker, and the Queen of paiN. This led on into a Shadow Fiend first pick on the Radiant side. No real surprise there. Unknown absolutely love this hero. Dazzle and the TA are also going to be picked up for paiN Gaming. The same combo that they ran last time around. Winter Wyvern is going to be picked up for Unknown. And then we had the Slardar ban as well as the Ogre Magi. So overall, looking very similar to what it ended up running last time around. The Ogre Magi was the one that Unknown ended up picking up next. And likewise, the Slardar was the pick for paiN Gaming in terms of their off-lane hero being able to really help with the minus armor strat that they're running. And considering we do already have the TA Dazzle, there's certainly the possibility that they can go minus armor, and if they can sort of double down on that with several other heroes depending upon what they want to pick up here. But they don't have to. This is still a relatively open draft. The big thing about it is that you have a hero that's going to be able to keep others alive via the Shallow Grave, obviously. And the two defensive supports are definitely going to help. I think that one of the problems that you saw last time for Unknown was that the Shadow Fiend ended up getting dove a couple of times in the mid lane. Might have gotten a little bit too cocky with the first kill where he ended up going down, and the second time around when he got dove, it was mainly because when the rotations came, they weren't really able to deal with the massive amounts of damage. And the Winter Wyvern banned out by paiN Gaming last time was a really, really great option because this hero really excels against Templar Assassin and a lot of the other heroes that were on paiN Gaming's lineup. You think about the Slardar as well. All of these heroes that just amp up that double damage and being able to just tear through heroes. So the PA is going to be the other ban, as is the Naga Siren, not wanting to face off against those guys. And I'm going to mix it up a little bit here. paiN Gaming is going to pick up a little bit of magical damage. We do have the Skarath Mage. I think this is a great answer to the Winter Wyvern pick. You all right? You know what? You're going to Cold Embrace to somebody? I am going to Mystic Flare on your dome, and you're just going to get torn apart. So I think that that's a pretty good answer there. And meanwhile, Unknown is going to opt to go for the Tusk, another hero that's really great. This was a hero that I was surprised wasn't seen in the last game. I mentioned it in the last draft where I felt like this hero has really great synergy with everybody else here. A Shadow Fiend being able to, I don't know, toss stuff out, and a couple of raises in conjunction with a fissure, essentially fissure light in the form of the Tusk Ice Shards, and Clockwork is going to be picked up by paiN Gaming as well. So I like that pick. Look to see maybe a disruptor here. Might be a little bit too defensive in terms of the supports. I would love to potentially see that here. I think it synergizes great against the Clockwork, but in the laning stage, it might just be a little bit too weak. They do go for a Huskar. Not afraid. All right, so these are two heroes that the Shadow Fiend and the Huskar that I feel like this lineup run pretty consistently with themselves, and I would love to see them potentially pick up now a natural mech carrier, maybe something like a Lich. I think that a Lich here would fit pretty well into Unknown's draft, and they would be able to run dual lanes with it. Maybe a Tusk Lich dual off lane there with a Winter Wyvern and a Huskar together as well. I feel like that could be very, very strong. And of course, Huskar versus Clockwork can be a very tough matchup as well, depending upon how those cogs are placed. If you end up getting all up in the mix with Huskar, that's not a situation anybody wants to be in. So we will see. Very, very curious. Of course, yet again, this is all for the spot in the Summit 4 qualifiers. And so, or the Summit 4 itself. This is the lower bracket as well. So whoever ends up losing this game, or this series rather, is going to be the one that has to sort of give up their dreams of Dota 2 forever and never play again. No, not really, but they're not going to be able to go to the Summit 4 at least. So Unknown and paiN Gaming making their little ticket and presence felt here. I think as far as the next set of picks that you want to go, I'm assuming an Ancient Apparition pick or ban is going to be coming next. Maybe not though. Considering the fact that you don't necessarily want another support on this lineup, like you would have to. I think that they can get away with running something else here. Maybe something with a lot of pure damage. Like if they wanted to, they could ban on out something crazy like a timber saw if they ran the clockwork in the safe lane. But that it sort of means that Dazzle is somewhat irrelevant. It's somebody that you're going to want to keep safe. Maybe a Phantom Lancer, honestly. There's a lot of single target spells here. I guess you do have the Shadow Fiend and the Tusk who are going to be able to reveal relatively well which one is the real PL. They do ban out the PL. I think that's probably a good option. If you get swarmed as a Huskar in the late game, it's going to cause a lot of trouble. So I like that ban. That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, we'll see what they end up going for now. Other heroes that could be pretty good here. I think that TA is a pretty good answer to Huskar, honestly. It seems like it's a good spot, and it feels to me like it's going to work well.
10 seconds remaining.
What else could be around there? The Phantom Assassin already banned out. I said more pure damage or physical damage as well as another option. Honestly, a Timbersaw wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but they also want more stuns. Maybe a Wraith King? Is that too crazy? That seems a little bit funky, but it could work. And with Dazzle there, you've got like 1,010,000 lives essentially, which is also pretty nice. I don't know. I do think that again, the Templar Assassin against the Huskar is a pretty good answer. It's going to come down to positioning. It's going to come down to, I mean, obviously you don't have Dazzle on this lineup now as well, so it sort of mitigates Huskar's usefulness. But the key thing here for paiN Gaming, maybe a Brood. Is Brood the answer? That seems pretty decent to me, honestly. Depending upon what the last pick is as well, because you can run Tusk as a support, but I feel like Brood would be very strong here against Unknown.
Weaver.
For the Weaver. Another natural Deso carrier. Huh. This is a little bit interesting. I guess that they don't have a lot of catch. Winter's Curse as well as the Tusk abilities, but so far that's basically it. A Weaver, Skywrath Mage, Dazzle. It almost feels like they could potentially run dual lanes if they want. The other thing, though, is I think that the Huskar pick does mitigate almost completely the Skywrath Mage. We'll go for the Bounty Hunter last, on Unknown. All right, really interesting. We'll see how this goes. A Spectre could have also been another option, but I don't know. Very, very strange. Waiting for the last set of people to load on into this one, and we're actually going to be getting a game. Hoshimiki. I'm going to have some trouble with a few of these names here. Sorry, guys. Very, very apologetic for this one, but it does occasionally happen where when people use outlandish names like just broken people. What's this? This is just a couple of brackets. I'm going to call him Bracket Man. That's what his name's going to be for me, at least for the moment. But in the game, we'll just refer to him as Shadow Fiend as well. I hope you guys have been enjoying the game so far. Stick around afterwards as well. We're going to have another great matchup. It's going to be Complexity up against Void Boys, which should be very, very good. Seeing Tavo TP right on out to try and get whatever vision advantage he possibly can here. So speaking of which, let's go right on into the introductions. We're going to have Tavo here be playing that Clockwork for paiN Gaming. Off to the side here, of Templar Assassin as well. In the mid or the top lane, probably ACC is going to be playing that Skywrath Mage. C4T is going to be playing the Dazzle, and last but not least, Diha is going to be playing the Weaver. Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane for Unknown, Ali is going to be playing the Tusk, Mr. JK himself. We do have Bracket Man on the Shadow Fiend as well, consistently going to be tossing on out the taunts whenever he sees fit, because that's just what this dude does. We also have Hoshimiki, who's going to be playing the Winter Wyvern down here as well. No name, Mr. Huskar himself on the Unknown team. This team is just so mysterious, so full of mystery. And Z-Tog is going to be playing the Bounty Hunter. Zitakmela heart. Wonderful. So we can talk a little bit about the lanes, about where we're going to see all of these heroes placed. It kind of would have been cool to see the Bounty Hunter go for an Orb of Venom. Still could if you wanted to, just to be able to burn through those refraction charges and potentially really lay down the harassment onto the TA. Of course, already he does have the sentries as well as some tangos, so that way if you end up getting into a bit of a fist fight with somebody, they drop down the sentries, you're going to be able to drop down your own and then eat the enemy sentry ward with a tango. Those ever so quick fingers that Bounty Hunter players are very well known for. And to me, this makes a lot of sense. You're going to be you're going to be able to sort of dole out a good amount of harassment in that early game, and it's something that's going to be helpful for the Shadow Fiend. I will also mention that against a Clockwork, it seems like Huskar should be relatively safe on his own, so hopefully what we're going to be seeing here is this Winter Wyvern stacking a little bit more often this time around for the Shadow Fiend, as opposed to last game where they were having to put a little bit more of their focus up on their top lane, not dying over and over again when Unknown were on the dire side. So Templar Assassin here, Sentry Ward for the mid lane. I also do see the Scarith Mage just running circles around her. He's been able to pick up 3 Clarities as well. This is going to be really effective at continuing to sort of harass away the Tusk here, not Husk. And I think that that's going to be great for that as well. What are you doing? All right, yeah, he's fine. He's having a good old time. Grand old time, Shadow Fiend with his 1 tango. He doesn't need more than that. He's perfectly comfortable. They are going to be able to wrap around off to the side here onto the Clockwork. This is going to be the Bounty Hunter up top. They're going to be able to get, God, Arctic Burn, what's going on? Tavo is going to end up getting caught up in the cogs here as well. They're going to get pushed on up, but I think that he's going to fall. One more right click might be enough. Oh, can they get into vision? Where is the Shadow Walk? Walk like a shadow isn't going to be able to do it. Unfortunately, that means that the Clockwork is going to be perfectly fine. Doesn't have a TP scroll out there, so it's actually just going to opt to go to lane like this. Man, oh man, this is ballsy by Tao right here. Not at all afraid, but probably is going to be using the next little bit of money that he has to potentially bring on out either another set of tangos or another healing salve. I guess that he has a while before he actually has to get to lane, and this first creep wave, being able to catch it out is so important. But immediately... and the Shadow Fiend is going to be pressured pretty consistently in the mid lane and actually going to bring over the Scarith Mage. This is actually pretty cool as well. If you know that you're going to be able to sort of win this lane to a certain extent, you also know that the Bounty Hunter is going to be over here to try and deal with the Courier. Why not throw the Scarith Mage there into the mid lane and just let him harass away onto this TA? Makes big sense. And Shadow Fiend is dropping relatively low. He's going to have to bring himself out another healing salve as well. Meanwhile, Dazzle here is going to take a little bit more right-click damage. Ooh, might have overstayed his welcome. Do we have another Shards? Not up for a little bit, but he might be sticking around to see if he can throw one out. Is not a ton of damage, only that 70 at level 1, but the bigger thing is the ability to get on in there and right click. So here's the right clicks onto the Bounty Hunter. He does end up getting it. They both are able to scout the sentry wards. Very interesting. So no sentry wards in lane currently, but they are going to be getting a little bit of extra regen. The Bounty Hunter healing right back up, as is the Templar Assassin. Clockwork now still at level 2, but I think that that's pretty good considering how that first engagement started there. And in last hits wise, the Huskar has been able to get pretty much free farm, hasn't really done a ton with it so far. Getting pushed away by the cogs yet again is going to be the Winter Wyvern. Always nice to have that happen for your Clockwork in the off lane. More right clicks, taunts abound. He is not afraid of refraction charges, honestly. He is just so bold with this. He's going to have to get away from those side blades lest he continue to take that right click damage from those. And again, you got Bounty Hunter just continuing to stack on up now. Some XDs, great, wonderful. All right, Bounty Hunter is here. There is a Sentry Ward down. They don't know that this is going now. One more right click. Is it going to be enough? He does have that Orb of Venom, so the slow as well as burning through those refraction charges, very, very important. If he moves a little bit too far forward on this TA, though, you get double raised, and that's pretty much the death of you. Is going to be able to hit a healing salve as well, broken again by the Shadow Fiend in this mid matchup of a 2v2, essentially, is going to continue here. Very comfortable in the state that they're in. Meanwhile, the Scarith Mage just moving around and continuing to patrol the skies, make sure that nothing goes by him at all. relatively inconspicuous beginning to this game. TA is top of the net worth again, trying to see if he can scout out that courier and potentially kill it. He's going to bottle crow here. Oh no, bounty hunter, he wants it. You should know that this is going on. First blood does get missed, but at the same time the courier goes down. So is it worth it? I still think I mean, they're not related, so definitely with the 3 heroes there. Actually, as soon as you see the Scarith Mage rotate over, you're gonna have to be super careful there, but being able to get that courier snipe, definitely very helpful. Meanwhile, the Shadow Fiend as well. Oh my god, guys, I'm so sorry about that one. I was just rambling on about crazy bull malarkey, and it's a 400 gold swing. I'm telling him to be quiet a little bit now. As he moves back in, immediately going to make him pay. Oh god, should have been able to get the kill, is going to finally take it. So a little bit more casual smack talk in the mid lane, as you do see another kill up there. Now going to jump forward onto the Weaver. No reveal though is going to mean this Tusk is going to have to back on out yet again. Scarith Mage is waiting in the wings, ready to dole out a little bit more damage. Snowball is up on the Tusk though, need to be careful. Salvon up as well. Do they have enough to bring him down here? Not exactly sure. Action could be happening in the mid lane again. One more right click is going to do it. Weaver takes that kill, and meanwhile the Clockwork as well is able to get the kill on the Shadow Fiend in the mid lane yet again. What is going on? What the heck is happening here? 500 gold swing at the end of the day. 2 heroes dead, and paiN Gaming really taking a commanding lead of both of these games in the early stages. Potentially a little bit of nerve showing here by Unknown. Being dove a little bit too much, and then of course when you end up having the Clockwork scouting out with these rockets, there's always the chance that you get another huge hit on it. Really, oh, I'm the worst.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Cool. All right, wonderful. We're back into that game. Oh, all of the delays, all of the craziness, mostly my fault yet again. This is going to be Shadow Fiend getting dove, is going to try and go out another little salvo of hits as he tries to walk away from this one. Is going to be able to make it out of there. Another hit down on top of this TA, dropping relatively low, maybe going to be able to get the kill there on the Shadow Fiend. Does end up dying. Meanwhile, the jump forward again isn't going to be enough to take on out the TA, but maybe with the Winter Wyvern here as well, they're going to be able to make it happen. No, not quite. Bounty Hunter, meanwhile, is going to end up taking out the Scarith Mage, but at the cost of his own death, as Scarith Mage takes him out. Oh, dropping low. Are you actually going to be able to do this? Huge cogs now by this Clockwork. That's going to be enough to take out this Winter Wyvern, and could have gone for the Tusk as well. Is going to be able to make it happen. Oh man, jump forward yet again. Might have overstayed your welcome a little bit. There's one raise, 2 raise, and another right click. Tusk ends up getting that kill. And over again we go. More action in this mid lane consistently, just showing why this matchup has been so exciting so far. 1,000 gold lead into the favor of paiN Gaming. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, EXP as well, 1,000 into their favor. All right, here we go. As I mentioned, the 2-minute delay is going to be great. All right. Huskar, armlet up now, as well as the boots. Gonna be able to push on down this tower here. Mid lane yet again. The Shadow Fiend is going to be able to try and catch back up here. I mean, you take a look, he's 0-3-3 so far. Really hasn't been able to get the start that he's wanted. With the Winter Wyvern here as well, you do wonder if they're going to be able to turn this one back around. Diving deep yet again. Does get a raise 1-2, but nowhere to be found is the Winter Wyvern. They're going to be able to turn this around now, but it's not going to be able to be enough to get this kill on this TA, I don't think. Shuriken Toss is actually up, so maybe they can. Tusk drops on down. Another Ice Shards is going to jump forward, gets the Snowball down. Had that Ice Shards not hit, it would have been enough. Oh man, goodness gracious. Another little kill on top of our buddy Shadow Fiend, but they get the kill in return on the Templar Assassin. Fight recap looking relatively even, a little bit more into the favor of the Radiant, but that is mainly just gold swing. If you consider in the heroes that were a part of that, the fact that the TA was there for part of the Shadow Fiend kill, I think ends up meaning a little bit more favor towards the Radiant. So net worth wise, yet again, paiN Gaming starting to dip a little bit lower, but the big thing and the key component here is how are the safe lanes going to match up. Huskar against Weaver is an interesting interesting one, and I think that it's going to come down to one, the vision, definitely going to be important, but also just the playstyle and how well this ends up working. So another couple of right clicks down on top of the Huskar, on top of the Clockwork rather. He's going to jump forward into this, not afraid at all. Is going to armlet toggle for victory, might be able to make it happen. Is he going to be able to get out of there? It looks like he is, just trying to get away. Oh my god, the Dazzle dropping low. They're going to keep him getting him, but no, Huskar does end up dying. Armlet toggle is pretty difficult. The Splinter Blast is going to kill out the Dazzle before he's even able to grave that time. So another couple of quick kills in succession, turning it around for Unknown, but Huskar did end up falling. And again, the Weaver with the Midas. This is starting to look like we might be able to see a bit of a turnaround in paiN Gaming accelerating their lead, despite the fact that Unknown is winning right now. Like, they should be winning a little bit harder than this, I feel like. The overlay pack. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate that. Oh god, what a failure I am. Anyways, Templar Assassin down over into here, level 8. Really sorry about that one yet again. It's one of those things that occasionally happens, and I'll try my best in the future, as long as I get that chance. So gonna be able to spot out the Absorbed yet again. Tavo is sitting comfortably on the top lane, continuing to hit away. We've got the Inner Vitality down on top of this tier 1 tower with the armlet toggle. You kind of wonder at what point this Huskar is going to want to move on over in and try and take out Roshan. It is one of those heroes that you can definitely do it with, though. Meanwhile, moving forward yet again, sort of feinting the possibility of Sakuching in on top of that Shadow Fiend, but we'll be fine for now. Let's see. One more right click down. A couple of Wraith Bands are going to be the pickup for the Shadow Fiend. Wanting to just get any little bit of survivability that he possibly can in a game like this that's so action-packed and just massive amounts of damage being dealt out in the early stages. You really need to be able to tank up in any way that you can. These stacks are going to help Unknown come back into this one. And with a couple of supports missing on the map, this is going to be Scarith Mage wanting to be very careful, but as soon as he ends up getting any sight of these other heroes here, he's going to know that he's safe to continue to soak up EXP here and potentially get some last hits of his own. 3 heroes down bot. They do end up finding Tavo now. Shard, actually going to be able to bring the Tusk inside with him. Walrus Punch down after the Battery Assault. That's going to be enough to get the kill, but then the Mystic Flare on the backside of it, that is going to be enough to kill the Tusk. I do believe after the Ancient Seal and the Silence, jumping forward yet again is going to be the Weaver, already losing 1. Maybe going to be able to find another here, but separated from the herd is going to be that Bounty Hunter. Do they have enough to be able to find him, though? No detection revealed quite yet at this point in time. We do have a Sentry Ward up on that Dazzle. Fight recap, still relatively even Clockwork for the Tusk, offlane for offlane. It looked like it could have been worse for that Huskar, but was able to make his way out of there. And there's the Sentry Ward drop down. Oh no, just did deserve a ward. Going to be able to back on out yet again. Shallow Grave does finally get popped. This might mean that they're comfortable pushing further forward. You have another Splinter Blast down. That actually ends up killing Dazzle, with the Huskar actually in the last tick there with the burn from the Burning Spears. Fight recap again, another 600 gold swing. Pretty good. Alright, net worth 1500, EXP 1500 as well. Very, very good. Alright, Armlet up also. Meanwhile, the Tusk, he has his dust as well, so if they do end up catching sight of this Weaver after the jump back, the time lapse, he's going to be careful. Oh, there's the jump board with the hook. They do have a cogs as well. Going to be able to push him back. Does get the deny on the tower and the kill on the Shadow Fiend. Templar Assassin looking very, very good. Nicely done there. Man, been really enjoying the way that these teams have been able to work together. It feels like right now Unknown are just not being able to rotate as effectively as a team, and I'm not sure exactly what that is by virtue of. It could potentially just be the nature of their heroes, that when you do see these movements going around, like not to necessarily call anybody out, but like the Winter Wyvern there, not able to get in time to be able to come over and save the Shadow Fiend. I think that he had the TP, but it might have been on cooldown at that point in time. Also, just how far forward that Shadow Fiend was, he wasn't going to end up being able to get on back. So meanwhile, you see that on the other side, the Clockwork hook on in with the TPing in. It's just very, very effective movements, and making sure they make the most of each and every one of them. All right, Requiem does get canceled now. That's going to do enough to chase away this Weaver. They do realize that the Weaver is over there. Bounty Hunter TPing on in yet again. He's going to taunt as well as just cancel these Requiems over and over and over again. Tavo's going to find him in the jungle. Hey, what are you doing? Battery Assault does come out now. Is going to be able to do the flare one more time. They're going to have to be back and on out yet again. Okay. Let's see now. A couple of Wraith bands. He's going for the Hand of Midas, so I don't know about this pick right now. Here's the problem. You run a Hand of Midas on the Shadow Fiend after you already have one on the Weaver. Clockwork is separated from the rest of his team now, does have the track down on top of him. Battery Assault one more time again is going to be able to dodge that one. We do have another slow coming out as well as the Silence. He's going to taunt. Not going to be able to Requiem though. Is going to be able to Requiem now if he wants. The Death Requiem is going to come out. He ends up falling. Skywrath Mage getting the last hit. Meanwhile, the bottom tower is getting pushed. And the question is, why is he that far up there? I'm not exactly sure. I guess with the Bounty Hunter, you expect you're going to be able to have a little bit more success in terms of dealing out a lot of damage. Here's the Shuriken Toss one more time again. Does have another Shadow Walk if he wants it. Just use a Shadow Walk and you can get away. Oh, right. He doesn't want to end up breaking that, so that way he can actually walk away with the Shadow Walk. That makes sense. Meanwhile, the bottom tower does end up falling as well. Helm of the Dominator up on the Huskar, as well as what looks to be potentially going for a Sanj and Yasha here, maybe? Recap 800 gold swing. Net worth just around 1600 as well. And back in the mid lane, this is going to be the TA getting caught out again. Track is down. They are going to catch with the shards. That's the snowball coming in. Walrus Punch follow-up is going to cancel the Requiem, but this should be enough raises to take her out, I believe. Yes. Bounty Hunter gets the last hit with the Shuriken Toss. And now this Clockwork's going to have to run away from here as well. The regen rune up as well. It looks like they're ready to push on down this tower potentially. Top lane getting pushed in by the Weaver. This is what this Weaver is going to do consistently. More damage from the Ice Shards. Splinter Blast is going to be... Actually, this could kill the Wyvern right here if you're not careful. Winter's Curse turnaround. Oh god, they get a huge kill on the Weaver. Exactly what they needed. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it looks like they might be able to potentially find the Shadow Fiend. Is it going to be enough? Do we have another Rocket Flare in a second? We do. Another Cogs as well. It looks like with the track they're going to be able to get out of there. Oh, Tavo, you wanted it so bad. Turn around for the raise and the right click. And meanwhile, on the bottom lane, the Huskar is able to kill the Dazzle. What a play right there. No fear being shown by the Shadow Fiend. And he's able to make it happen. Exceptionally well played. Fight recap as well. I mean, it was a small one, but big one when it counted as well. The big thing also is that's 3 heroes consecutively dying. Unknown are definitely bringing this one back. The Shadow Fiend. Oh my god, what are you doing? You have about 50 HP. I guess he's fine, but oh my god. This guy scares me whenever he plays. 5,000 gold lead into the favor of Unknown, as well as just about 1,500 EXP. Oh god, farming out the enemy jungle on 50 HP. Not many other places that you would end up seeing that, but he's got style, you can't deny it. Can't deny it at all. Alright, Tusk picks up the Blink Dagger. We've got the Mechanism up on the Bounty Hunter as well. So healing from the darkness. No sentry wards quite yet. It does look like they're going to know he's here, though. Dust ends up getting popped. They're going to be able to pop him there and catch him out. Oh, the sentry ward was dropped down there right there by the Dazzle. Very nicely done. And Templar Assassin gets the last kill there on the Bounty. Good, good, good. What you want to have happen. Does toss out a couple of raises now as well. Should know that the Weaver's on top of him. Definitely knows now. And it's just going to run and right click away these little birds before they end up taking him down here. Maybe the turnaround time lapse as well. Mystic Flare not going to connect for the kill. The jump back yet again by the Tusk. Dusk ends up getting popped. Is going to go and turn targets for that Skywrath Mage. Absolute food for them at this point in time. The Tusk gets the right click and the raise would have killed him if it didn't end up hitting with that right click as well. Weaver now. Does just have a TP scroll. Going for Lincoln Sphere fight recap after the end of that. Skywrath Mage kill is going to be another 500 gold swing into their favor. Another big team difference in net worth. Continuing to just sort of... Like, this is the problem. That you start to get into these situations. Oh, another courier ends up going down. Yeah, it's starting to fall apart a little bit for paiN Gaming at this point in time. I think that really a lot of this is down again to these track kills that you're getting from the Bounty Hunter. Obviously, he did get nerfed in the last patch, but you're still looking at a hero that's giving you this very large gold advantage whenever you win a team fight. I mean, at level 1 even, it's 200 gold for yourself and then an extra 40 gold for your allies. It's very, very substantial, and every single little team fight that you take is going to make a huge difference. All right, let's see. Shadow Fiend doing his thing. He's going for a Force Staff. What is this guy doing? All right, there's the hook shot on in. They're going to be able to catch him yet again. There's the Mystic Flare down. Synergy Abound is going to be able to get the silence as well as the Arcane Bolt. That's going to be enough. Maybe the turnaround. Tavo gets Walrus Punch as well as the Winter's Curse expended. Bounty Hunter finally picks up that kill now. Is going to be able to catch the track on top of the Weaver. No Lincolns quite yet. Is going to time-lapse back now. No reveal for him. And he's going to be comfortable reinitiating into this yet again with more heroes in with him. They might be able to take this one. Mechanism is popped on both sides now. Walrus Punch. Oh god, Weaver, you went too deep. It wasn't meant to be. They're going to be able to catch one out. The Dazzle now, as well as the Scarith Mage, I believe. One more right click should be enough for that one. Dazzle in a bit of trouble as well. They do find, oh my god, the Bounty Hunter getting away on nothing. All right, are they going to be able to find this kill on top of the Dazzle? Looks like they might. We do have the Templar Assassin in the area, though. That's going to be another Dead Tusk jump on top by the Huskar, burning through refraction charges like it ain't no thing. That is actually Blink Dagger up on the Winter Wyvern as well, but nowhere to be found for this next team fight. It's going to have to be creating a little bit of extra space. Fight recap at the end of all of that. Huge win for Unknown. They're just taking this advantage and steamrolling into paiN Gaming over and over again. Another 2,700 gold swing, as well as roughly 2,000 EXP. Just exactly what they need to be doing. 10k net worth lead. EXP, we're looking at shooting up towards that 7,500 figure. Obviously, this is all inflated by the Bounty Hunter, but it's looking very good at this point in time for Team Unknown. It was just this tipping point that you ended up seeing, and I think that really the big thing was Huskar being able to come online. And it's true that the plays have been somewhat throwy by Unknown at various points in time, but been able to make it work, and that's the biggest thing. Dota 2, whatever works, is really what the stream comes down to. So I don't know, we'll see. The no boots Weaver, it's a rough life. That's the life he chose. So let's see, Medallion up now. Seems like he can definitely go on in and take Roche whenever they want to. Bounty Hunter, as well as building into what could be a Force Staff also. I mean, the Force Staffs definitely make sense and they synergize well. This is what we saw last game as well with the Shadow Fiend in terms of his build, was that he went for these things that were much more about survivability and maybe being able to just sort of rely more upon his raises and magical damage than his strictly right click. And it's not like he's not doing any right click damage, but it's not what you normally see out of a Shadow Fiend, and it's much more about being able to win each individual team fights. This might be a little bit of trouble now. They are going to end up spotting out the Clockwork. Hookshot in on top of him. He's going to be able to force snap other side of the cogs. Very nicely done. They're going to have to leave Roshan for now. Huskar in the middle of all of them. Winter's Curse down on top of the Dazzle. He stays alive though, able to get the grave up top of himself now. Huskar just jumping all over this map. Is going to be on top of Tavo, hitting away. Shadow Fiend with the double kill. Dazzle and the Clockwork do fall. The turnaround, Unknown is doing it, and it looks like we might be able to see the only hero getting out of here is going to be the Weaver. Hoshan is going to end up falling in just a second. They're going to be going mid and looking really, really good right now. 3,800 gold swing into their favor, 3,800 EXP swing, net worth lead shooting up towards that 15k mark right now. paiN Gaming in some pain. That is definitely what's going on. All right, let's see. Tier 2 tower, it's just Huskar's finally really being able to be a factor in these fights. He's got the helm up, he's got this, he's got the Heaven's Halberd as well. They're going to be able to jump down on top of the Weaver. They don't quite have vision of him at this point in time, but any point that they end up really finding this hero, it's going to be bad. They do end up spotting him now. He might have overstayed his welcome a little bit longer, time lapse away, but now they know where he is. They're going to be able to potentially kill him. One more right click might be enough, but the burn damage is going to be able to do it, and that is a dead Weaver. Wicked 6 streak for this Huskar. Oh god, and the Weaver was close to finishing his Lincolns as well. Oh god, now come the taunts, now comes the mech, now comes the pain. Unknown Gaming doing it. Exceptionally well played. 20k net worth lead with all of those track kills, with all of those just straight up kills. 24-15 is the score. It looks like they're going to be very comfortable just doing whatever they want. I think that Huskar got force-staffed up by that Shadow Fiend. Jump in on top of the Templar Assassin. There's the Purge and it away. That's going to be Cogs on top of 3 heroes. Nicely done as well. That is going to be a buyback by the Weaver as well. He wants to be back in the middle of all of this fight. Huskar is still going ham, though. Nobody's going to be able to deal with him at all. And even if they do, Aegis is still up at this point in time. GG ends up getting called, disconnects. No items quite yet dropped on the ground, but Unknown take a relatively convincing game 2. As we get ready to move on into a game 3, you kind of wonder which team is going to show up for which side and how is it going to end up going. Thank you again for watching. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Once again, all on me, but thank you guys again, and we'll be back in just a second with game 3.